welcome. Welcome to another edition to Unstoppable Conversations. And today we have Patrick Snow in the house, and I'm really excited about getting to talk to Patrick. He has a lot of interesting things to say, and I know you're going to love every bit of it. Patrick, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about you, your business, and what do you do to help others?
Well, LaDonna, thank you so much for having me on your show. Thrilled to be here. I've been a lifelong entrepreneur, best-selling author, professional keynote speaker, writing coach, publishing coach, book marketing coach, speaking and coaching coach. So I teach the business of the information empire. A big philosophy has come from Zig Ziglar, who taught me as a young man. He said, you can have everything in life that you want as long as you help enough other people get what they want. So when I'm not on the road as a professional keynote speaker, the primary business is that I help people write and publish books, and then they use that book as a platform from which they can stand on to launch their speaking, coaching, consulting career, or to help them better promote their practice, their business, whatever they do. A book is a great marketing tool. So that's what I do.
That's awesome. Now, you said something, Zig Ziglar. Now, Zig Ziglar to me is, well, he's a very important man to any entrepreneur, but he is the very first, Patrick, speaker that I ever went in person and seen speak, and that was in Germany. And he was at a National Women's ordeal, and I went there, and it was phenomenal that I got to hear him in person. So that means a lot. You also said that you help people publish books. I love that. I have 5 books that I have been a part of and never thought I would ever write. When I was a little girl, I was never thought I would write a book, be a part of a book. And here I am. So tell people, is it hard to get started writing your stories, your book?
Well, my team and I have published about 1,500 clients over the last 30 years. So we've gotten really good at helping people pull out their message. And I always tell people your book is your speech is your book is your coaching program is your book. Whatever your purpose and passion and mission in life is, that's what you should write about. So typically the first homework assignment I give everybody is I have people jot down 18 to 24 lessons that they want their readers to learn. And then every lesson becomes their 18 to 24 chapters. And then sequentially put those in the right order, and then add an ing action verb to the beginning of each chapter title. And that becomes the book outline. And once they have the book outline created, then we've got a couple different writing templates that they can pick and choose from. But that's the key thing. So many people start to write and publish a book, but they don't have a book outline. So they write in circles and they get fed up and they just kind of get stuck and stop.
That's right. Now, does your book have to be, I want to answer these questions for people out there that may not have a clue on getting their book started. Does it have to be a 24 chapter book, or can it be smaller? Do they have to start writing on that high level right away?
Well, I got a C in high school English, and then I got a C in college rhetoric. So yes, I'm an international best-selling author, but I'm not a best writing author. And your listeners don't need to be either. The point of it is I give all my clients permission to write a rubbish, not very good, piece of crap, D- first draft of their manuscript. Because we have to go through the D- phase before we get to the C phase, before the B+, and before the A. And I've got a lot of vendors and suppliers, editors, proofreaders, book designers that can help your clients get their book to be very, very well received. So the goal is just to get started, to get what's out of your mind. What do you want to share with the world? What legacy do you want to leave with your kids? What advice, what lessons, what obstacles have you overcome? What heartache and trauma have you healed from? And just get that down on paper. And then from there, my team and I, we can take it and polish it and wax it and shine it and dust it and water it and make it pretty. So that's how you get started, is just get down your kind of message. And then from there, we take it and edit it and make it better.
That's awesome. So I think you said in that message is just get started. And that was the hardest thing I know when I first wrote my book, was a part of. It was a trauma, Cinderella stories. And that was the hardest thing, Patrick, is just start writing something. And I know for me, and you can tell me maybe it's the wrong way to do it. I didn't have an outline. Nobody furnished that for me. So I just started writing. I would just jot down things from my past that I remembered and then how I overcame my trauma. Is that okay to start there until they reach out to you and then you start
Yeah,
getting
but you
everything?
want to have an outline done because a lot of times without a book outline, people write the same chapter twice, or they miss one of the most important things in the entire book because they thought they wrote it somewhere else and they missed it. But yeah, I always tell people done is more profitable than perfect, and action's an upgrade from perfection. So you can repurpose and take old journals, old diaries, old workbooks, copy and paste and plug it in. Again, nobody's going to read the first draft of the manuscript, so I give my clients permission to have it be not very good. And when they have that permission, they're able to create magic with their words.
That's awesome. So I know that when I wrote my Cinderella story a couple of years ago, now I'm remembering things that I should have added to that. Is that okay if we don't get it right the first time, you forget some things? Can we go back later and add to that book somewhere in Amazon or wherever it's printed?
Well, absolutely. My first book, Creating Your Own Destiny, I published 25, 26 years ago. And the first version of that was a 140-page softcover book. And then over the course of 10 years, I updated that book 10 different times in hardcover. And what went from 140 pages is now 325 pages. So each year, I added new chapters, new stories, new experiences, new aha moments, new testimonials, new book awards. And that's exactly what you do. A book is like a tree. You plant it and you water it and you nourish it and you fertilize it. And each year you release it with new content, new updated information, and it becomes something absolutely beautiful.
That's awesome to know because I think that especially when you're writing a story, you want to keep it growing, like you said, like a tree, keep it growing. So, what do you say to a person that's never written before? What should they do first, Patrick? What
The
should they
first
do
thing
first?
is really have them decide, are you writing a novel? Are you writing fiction? Are you writing poetry? Are you writing a children's book? Or are you writing a book to make the world a better place? Nonfiction, self-help, personal growth and development. If it's nonfiction, self-help, personal growth and development, they have to ask themselves, what are their passions? What are their hobbies? What major aha moments have they had in life? What message could you leave for your children and your grandchildren about a life well lived? If you knew that your time on this earth was limited and you weren't going to make it to the weekend, what do you want to tell your children and grandchildren? Whatever that you need to write about. If you're writing poetry or science fiction fantasy, there's a whole nother thing, and that's all about writing about love and death, love and death, love and death, because the best novels of the world are all about love and death. So it all depends on what their end goal is. A lot of my clients want to do speaking, coaching, consulting. They want to promote a business, so they should write about, like, say, for example, they're a chiropractor. They should write about optimal health and wellness. Maybe they're a financial services planner. They should write about saving money, eliminating debt, and investing. So a lot of times, whatever your business is, that's what you should write about because the book becomes the extension or the marketing plan for that business.
Oh, that's awesome. So, there's a lot of questions I can ask about a book, about being an author, because it expands, I think, each and every time that you think about it. So you write this book, and everyone wants to be a best-selling author. So how do you get a book to be a best-selling book? How does that work? Because that's what everybody wants when they write a book.
Yeah, there's 5 ways to become a best-selling author. Number one is to speak, because when you speak, business happens because your voice is your moneymaker. So do workshops and podcasts and teleseminars about your book. Number two, you need a world-class cover design. Our parents teach us never to judge a person by the way they look, but in publishing, the only way people are going to judge your book is by its cover. So don't go cheap on the cover. Have a world-class cover design. Number three, have a hook of a title. There's 3 award-winning title formulas that I coach and teach. The number one award-winning formula is the ING rule. Have a verb, Like my first book is titled Creating Your Own Destiny. That tells exactly what the book is about. We've done books, Beating Ovarian Cancer. When you hear that title, you know what it is. So have an action verb, ing, action title that you own the .com for. Number four is that you need to have a world class introduction that hooks the reader in. Most people write the book, I'm a victim. This happened to me, that happened to me. He cheated, she cheated, dog ran away, cat got hit by a car, bankruptcy, foreclosure. Read my book to learn about my victimhoodness. Nobody wants to hear that. Write the introduction about the reader. I feel your pain. I've been in your shoes. I want to help you achieve your dream goals and visions. And then finally, number four, have great content. Have great content that's been edited. But it goes back to number one, is that you need to speak. The best way to become a best-selling author is to commit to market your book for the rest of your life and then speak on that book. And if you commit the rest of your life, 15, 20, 30 minutes every day promoting your book, then you will be successful. You will become a bestseller. And the best way to promote your book is to speak.
So, I know that when I first started writing, I had a coach, and she said, you have to become a best-selling author in one day. Everybody buys your book all in one day. Is that true? Is that the only way to be a best-selling author? Because I have a book out there right now that's not a best-selling book.
Well, there's a lot of
Can I
gimmicks
make it
out
come
there.
alive?
Yeah, there's a lot of gimmicks out there, and a lot of coaches out there charge $10,000 to become an Amazon bestseller, but nobody really cares about Amazon bestseller because everybody already is one. I mean, I love Amazon, great resource, but everybody in the world claims to be an Amazon bestseller. So I asked them, I said, well, how many books did you sell? They're like, well, I'm not going to tell you. And I'm like, did you actually sell the book or did you give it away? Oh, I'm not going to tell you that. Was it an ebook or a printed? Oh, I'm not going to tell you that either. What a lot of people do is they take their ebook, put it on Amazon Kindle, they have their 10 or 15 or 20 friends go to Amazon on a single day, download a free ebook, and then they claim to be an Amazon bestseller. What makes it worse is some people say, well, I was number one in the UK, or I was number one in Canada, number one in the US. And my answer is everyone on Amazon is the bestseller. What they don't tell you is you might be the 37,000th bestseller in your genre. So it's all a gimmick. My mentor, Dan Poynter, who wrote the Self-Publishing Manual, he says that the actual real title of a bestseller is a book that sells 35,000 copies in its lifetime. So what I coach my clients to do is instead of going out and finding 35,000 individual buyers, it's a whole lot easier to find one company to buy for 35,000 books. And so that's what I did. I did it in a month. I found one organization in the direct selling network marketing industry that did a book of the month program, and they purchased 40,000 books. In my first month, I think it was June or July of 2001. No, it was the summer of 2001, and I became a best-selling author in 30 days. So I'm not a big fan of these gimmicks where you give away some ebooks and you claim to be a bestseller. But also, I sold 28 books at a book signing in Seattle once, and I was a Seattle Times best-selling author because I sold 28 books. So, everybody wants it. The big number is to be a New York Times bestseller. And the way you become a New York Times bestseller is you become a top 20 seller in your genre on Amazon in one given week. And if you do that, those numbers are reported to the New York Times. The problem is you don't know who else is promoting books in their genre. So a lot of people buy their way or attempt to buy their way to it. And it's a very risky gamble to spend 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 trying to buy yourself to the New York Times list. And so it just doesn't work anymore. So I just say it's not about how many books you sell. It's about strategically giving your books away to meeting planners, coaching prospects, consulting opportunities, podcasters. And the more books that you strategically give away, the more your bullhorn becomes when you can speak, coach, and consult on your message. And that's the way that you create that tidal wave.
Okay, so I want to go back to that for 1 minute, is that I have a book. It's not a bestseller. It's stagnant. It really hasn't sold, but let's say 20 books. Can I make it come back alive? Can I, or just forget about that book and start over? That's my question.
Well, a lot of times I do a fix and flip with my clients. They have a book out, it's been out for 7 years. They sold 23 copies on Amazon and they wonder why. And they send it to me and we update the title, update the cover, add some testimonials, add some front and back page inserts, new testimonials, all exercises to the book. And we give the book a makeover, just like real estate professionals do fix and flips. They buy old beat up 1970s houses, put in hardwood floors, update kitchen and bath, paint the front door, mow the grass, and they fix it and flip it. We do that all the time with books. I say it's a whole lot easier to update an existing book than to start from scratch and write a whole brand new book altogether. So I would just say take what you have, use that as the foundation, and build on that. A lot of people do these books that are like this big. They're just like a booklet, and they send me the book and like, what's wrong? My answer is, well, the book is 47 pages. The book is so thin, there's not even room to have anything on the spine. And so we'll thicken up the book, add a chapter on leadership, a chapter on change, empowerment, transformation, testimonials, add some back page inserts in there, exercise questions. And just by doing that, we can take their 50-page book and make it 150. And now the book is wide enough for a spine. So I say don't ever give up on what you've created. Just add to it. I mean, you deliver a baby into this world, they're not going to have their driver's license in a year. They need to learn how to eat and then walk and then, run and then read and then go to school and then get big enough so they can see above the driver's wheel. It's with a book. A book is a commitment to the rest of your life to promote it. And it's okay sometimes when your kid is 7 to 8 years old. Maybe they miss a lunch or a meal. Or maybe, they didn't get a shower one day because they were in the ocean swimming all day. It's okay. So sometimes we take time off on our books, but we can always get back and market it and make them better. All we got to do is add more fertilizer, more water, more food, and let them grow.
That's awesome. Now, what do you think about, collaboration books are really big right now. Everyone is in a collaboration book. How do you feel about that? Can you still expand on that? If you are the beginning author of it, you're the one that put it together.
If you don't have your voice in print anywhere, I think a collaboration book is a good start. The problem is people think that they get a collaboration book done and their speaking, coaching, consulting business is going to go through the roof. Well, the challenge is if they're a meeting planner and a meeting planner gets this book, there's 20 or 30 names on the front of that book. And the meeting planner's like, who do I hire? Which one do I speak? So I would say that a collaboration book is like a very good brand new Ford or Chevrolet, but it's not a Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini. Do the collaboration books for fun, but if you really want to grow your business, then write a solely published book with only your name on it, because that will set you apart to help you get those high-paid speaking, coaching, consulting opportunities. I'm in about a dozen of those collaboration books. And I love the network that built and the other authors and the friendships that I've created through that. But I don't think I've ever gotten a paid speaking engagement or a coaching client as a result of being in any of those books. And it's not because my chapter in the book wasn't any good. It's just that there's so many noise with 20 other authors. When you're solely published, then you get to stand on your own and get more attention, more opportunities for promotion.
Now, can you the collaboration book, pull it out to create your own book? Can you do that, or is that a bad idea?
Yes, you can do that, and you can do it the other way. People ask me for a chapter in their book, and I said, I'm going to just give you chapter 11 from Creating Your Own Destiny. It's been out 20 years. It's a great chapter. Everybody loves it. So instead of me recreating and rewriting it, I just, copy, paste, and send. And so you can multi-purpose all of what you need. And people do that all the time. I do that all the time as well.
That's awesome. I love that idea. This has been great. We could probably talk all day on this because it is such a wide variety of doing. We can do so much with writing a book, planning a book. So is there any last words that you have for the audience today?
I would say think it, ink it, believe it, and achieve it. Think about your dreams, goals, and visions. Ink them into a book. Believe in yourself, and you'll achieve that bestseller status. Also, I'd like to make an offer for any of your listeners. If they want to schedule a complimentary, no obligation, 30 to 60-minute writing, publishing, book marketing, or speaker, you can just text me 206 310 1200, 206 310 1200. Text me your name and your time zone, and I'll get back to you and schedule your complimentary session. But most importantly, let me know that you learned of me from Dr. LaDonna Mcabee, and I will respond right away and get you on your path.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Patrick. And for all of you listeners out there, thank you for being here. And until next time on an unstoppable conversation, see you again. Bye now.